Hi, my name's Margaret Colson, and the value that I've chosen to speak on today is change, embracing change. Change is something that happens in all of our lives. We all deal with change in every area of our life. What I'd like to see is, can you possibly consider embracing change? I'd like to see if at the end of this speech, that's something that you really try to consider and see if you can embrace it. As I incorporate embracing change in my life, and I am aware of the shift that is happening, it's changing how I function in the world, how I operate in my world. In the last 16 months, I have gotten home from a prison sentence of 3.5 years. I have stopped using addictive coping mechanisms in my life. I'm attending college full time. I'm considering a divorce after 25 years of marriage. We've sold our home. I've stopped smoking cigarettes. I've started a weight loss program. And I'm learning how to be successful at budgeting money in my life. So let me tell you, this is what I've tried and seems to be working for me. When I decide to take a change or make a change, I set a goal. So I start working towards this one goal. And as I start to feel like I'm mastering this one, I'll scoot to a new goal. And I'll start to do the behaviors that it takes to make that goal achievable in my life. And then what I notice is the one that I'm doing prior to that starts to become effortless. So as I move to the third shift of change, the next thing I need to change, the other two start to become effortless. So what I'm finding out is that my brain focuses on the one that I'm working on at that time. And it stops focusing on these other two. And those just kind of, like I said, start to become effortless. It's amazing for me. I've never been able to achieve this level of self-awareness, self-control. It's not been something that I've achieved in my life prior to this embracing change. And like I said, it's beginning to start to be effortless. Our mind responds to the self-discipline easily. So again, the awareness of the self-discipline and the embracing of the change, you start to feel an accomplishment. Like you have a level of mastery that you've not before. And you know what? It reduces stress. The stress that I've had at home, work, school, all these stressors have started to almost go away. And I just move about freely in the world, embracing the things that are coming my way, not fighting them, not pushing, not working against myself. I go along with the change and I embrace it. And I know that change is only going to bring new things in my life. And I'm a willing participant in embracing change. The other thing that starts to become amazing is when we stop agonizing over the unknown, it just shifts us to another level of change. Another thing is the excitement and joy that I'm now starting to be aware of in my life. And if you haven't had this before, and you start to see that these little changes, these shifts that you're making in your awareness of simply embracing change brings this new level of joy and excitement. It's unparalleled for me. As a child, we see how our parents deal with change, how when these things come up and the responses that they have, we start to incorporate these into who we are and how we deal with change. As teenagers, we watch our peers and how they deal with change. As adults, however, we get to develop our own relationship to change. And if we become an active participant and make those kind of choices, we embrace change and accept the things that are coming our way. We, in fact, can create the change in our life instead of just having to respond to the changes that are coming up. Another way to look at this is how the universe deals with change. You know, we've got 4 seasons, And every one of these seasons is different. They're a severe change. We're able to see the change and embrace the change if we choose. Sometimes people can't see the beauty in these things, but as we can embrace these things, the beauty in the snow and the trees, and the change in fall when all the leaves change color, the change in spring when the buds are on the trees, just those little things of beauty that we get to enjoy, just this shift of embracing change can start to change how we function in the world. Another thing is, these responses in our life are learned responses. So we can unlearn these responses and pick new ones. We have this ability. And as the awareness comes and the shift begins, like I said, the level of mastery becomes very fulfilling. Seeing the results in my life have started to change who I am. And I've needed this change. I'll be 50 this year, and it's time to figure out how to do some of these things. And if you're younger, I challenge you to try to incorporate these changes in your life earlier so that you can have a level of mastery moving forward. Another thing that I watched that really gave me some interesting ideas about change and how important it can be. You know, I watch Gold Rush on occasion with Parker Schnabel, and he did an out of the country one this year where he went to another country and was on a search for gold. He went to this village where they were actually farmers, but they were living on a gold mine that their forefather had abandoned. He simply shifted his focus to farming, and so the entire village, that's what they were doing. They were farming. Well, as Parker tried and asked if he could come in and try to help them see about this gold on their property, they then all began to participate and all began to incorporate maybe embracing this change in their lives and how the entire village would make money from here on out. It would change their lives forever. It would change their children's lives forever. Can you imagine embracing a change that's going to make that kind of difference in a whole village's life? It's a simple thing, embracing change. But it's an idea that you have to consider. You have to be willing to think about how this is going to affect all the different steps that you're making. The other thing for me is this new idea is excitement. And in fact, it's a game changer. If you can start shifting this focus in your life and embracing change, it can change the whole game. And that's amazing to me. I've not been able to shift out of the cycle that I was in for years and years and years. It was part of who I grew up being. And now it simply is change that I've embraced, willing. What I'd like to leave here with you guys is an idea of embracing change, of going home and maybe this evening falling asleep and just thinking about this idea of embracing change. And maybe you've got a couple of changes that are coming up in your life, and you can just kind of resonate this idea of change and embracing it. We've always been afraid of the unknown. The minute we can maybe stop being so afraid of the unknown and just be willing to have the changes happen in our life, we start to feel a level of mastery, an amazing level of mastery that is a sense of accomplishment, helps your self-esteem, helps your self-awareness, helps the people around you and their self-awareness and the way they deal with change in their lives. We all have that effect on each other, and we can affect change in that regard on a deeper level. It's so important. I'm going to leave something with you. Become the change that you want to see in the world. Just think about it. Just see if it can happen in your life and if you can embrace the changes that are coming your way. Good luck. Thank you.